happens right before twin flame reunion, but almost nobody understands what it means or how to avoid ruining this. So welcome back, guys, and in this video I'm going to show you the one spiritual mechanism that guarantees union. And this is without healing, chasing, or fixing anything. It's not what you've been told. It's most likely very different to what you've been told, actually. And it works even if your twin flame hasn't contacted you in months or even years. So you'll want to understand this, because once you shift into this state, your twin flame has no choice but to come back. Or if you've not had a meeting yet, they have no choice but to reach out and meet you. So there's no pushing, there's no hoping, there's no emotional chaos. You'll finally understand how to actually become magnetic to your twin flame by doing the exact opposite of what most people say. And this is the interesting thing. You're going to learn what actually works, because this is backed by ancient spiritual principles, not just myths or hoping. I'm going to walk you through the exact stages that happen right before reunion so that you don't sabotage it. This is an important video. So what does non-duality have to do with twin flame union? Why does detaching from your mind actually help bring your twin flame back? We need to start with what twin flames actually are. And I know you've heard this before, but twin flames are not two souls. They are one soul in two bodies. Now, this is not meant to be symbolic, it's not a metaphor, it's literal. You and your twin flame are the same soul, split into two bodies. And yet, for some reason, everyone online has kind of this different sets of advice. They talk about mirror exercises, about past life regressions and trauma healing, shadow work, inner child therapy, but you know, the truth is these methods all come from psychology and metaphysics, and they are good. You know, they might help you with your personal growth, but they don't necessarily help you reunite with your twin flame, at least on their own, because they keep you stuck in the mind. They keep you stuck and operating from the mind, and the mind operates from duality. The mind is all about duality and ego. The mind says, you know, it sees a separation. It says, I am me and you are them. I want them back. I miss them. I need to heal to be good enough, for example. I need to be careful. I need to manage my energy. I need to do this. All of this is mind. And the more that you live from the mind, the more your twin flame runs. You might have even noticed this yourself. The harder you try and kind of do the right things, the harder you try and force it or try and, you know, make it happen faster, the faster they run away or they disappear. You start trying to do all this healing and meditating and journaling and all these actions, and they just vanish. They don't reply. It's not a coincidence. It's actually not this random, strange thing. It's because you're approaching the connection from the wrong layer of yourself. You're approaching it from the wrong layer. So there are three layers to your existence. You have your body, your mind, and your soul. Now, most people live completely from the mind. They never get into their body or their soul. But the soul is where the union actually happens. Because remember, your twin flame is your soul. They're not, you know, this separate entity. Well, really, no one is a separate entity when you really break it down. But especially and specifically with your twin flame, they are not some kind of romantic, idealistic goal. They are you, fundamentally. You are them and they are you. So nothing will change until you transcend the mind. Now, this doesn't mean to go on this huge lifelong journey of dissolving the ego and destroying the mind, because the mind is a very useful tool. But what it does mean is you need to recognize that the mind is not you. When you finally start living from your soul awareness instead of your ego identity, the whole thing changes. It becomes actually really easy and effortless. Your energy stops pushing, your desire stops grasping at things, you stop, you know, trying to force it. Your frequency stops being split across different things, and there becomes no polarization. So let's break down what this means. When two incarnations of the same soul happen in physical space, the mind creates these opposite charges. One chase, one run. Okay? It's not personal, it's more like an energetic thing. Push creates the pull. Okay? Desire creates repulsion. If you focus on the other, it creates avoidance in them. It makes them run. So the solution is not to stop wanting them, it's to stop identifying with the part of you that wants them. I just really hope this is coming across and this is making sense to you. I'm not telling you to stop wanting your twin flame. Of course you want your twin flame. But you need to stop identifying yourself and believing you are the part of you that wants them. Because the soul, the soul layer here, does not want anything. Your soul does not desire anything. So it's a little bit misleading when people say things like, oh, my soul desires this. No, it doesn't really desire anything, because the soul is everything. The soul already has everything. It's already connected to everything. Now, I know this sounds very abstract. It sounds very kind of esoteric and random and a bit confusing. Okay, so let me try and make it a bit more clear. So before union, just before you reunite, something strange happens. You actually stop thinking too much about your twin flame. You stop chasing and trying and putting effort into forcing and trying to make something happen. And it's not because you don't care. It's because you're already complete. You're already whole and free. And you stop obsessing over the outcome. You stop focusing on what you desire, or what your ego or your mind desires, right? Now, you might have a random day where you just wake up and you feel connected to everything. You feel like you're the sky, you're the trees, you're connected, and you are your twin flame. And it's this beautiful moment of knowing. It's not something that you think about, really. It's not something that you play around with and discuss with yourself. It's not a thought. It's actually a feeling of remembering. It's a feeling of knowing that you are whole and you are connected and you're complete. And that is exactly what reunion feels like before it happens in the physical reality, in the physical world. And it's also known as unity consciousness. There's actually many names for this state throughout history and throughout different ancient cultures. They all have different names for this state of being. But it's really, when it comes down to it, it's really just the opposite of your ego and your mind. So your ego and your mind say things like, they are over there, I'm over here, I want this, that person has this and I don't have it, so that makes me sad. This is all ego and mind. It only sees separation, and it only thinks in terms of separation and safety. It wants to run away from danger and pain and run towards safety, love, and pleasure. This is all mind. Your soul, on the other hand, knows that everything is the same. It's all connected. It's all one. Everything is part of the same energy, the same consciousness. And this is the most common mistake. So when your twin flame starts coming back to you, when they start messaging you, when they come into your life, you get sucked back into the mind. This is what causes all of these problems. This is what causes the repeating running stage. This is what causes all the drama and the chaos, the pain, the confusion. Because you get so close, they reach out, you have a connection, and then you get pulled back into your mind. You start worrying about things. You start thinking about things. You start trying to manage your energy and control things and be careful, because you don't want to lose them, right? But this is a very exciting connection. It's important, especially if you've been on this journey for some time. You don't want to lose this person. But the idea that you can lose them is an idea from the mind. It's not real. It's not an actual, risk. You can never lose them because they are you. So this idea about, I need to be careful, I need to watch what I say, message them the right thing, not appear embarrassing or strange. This is all in your mind. And anytime you operate from your mind, you can push the connection away. So the mind, again, creates duality. It creates a me and them. And what does that do? Well, it activates the same dynamic. It activates the push and pull dynamic. Because when you see separation and when you feel separation, the universe just amplifies that. So they will pull away. There will be some kind of problem, some drama, and you're in the same situation, right, where you're separated. So look, if you want to maintain union, if you want to stay together, you have to stay, or at least try to stay, as much as you can in unity consciousness. You have to believe and live from the awareness that you are already them. You are each other. You need to get rid of this idea of getting them. There's no, winning them back. Because these are all concepts in the mind based on separation, based on push, pull, and duality. You just need to remember the truth, which is that you are them and they are you. You're always connected, and there's nothing really that you can do to break that connection. So let me ask you just one question. Have you ever had a moment where you just said, I know they are me? And you didn't need any proof. You didn't need to think about it. You didn't have any logic. You just knew it was true. That inner knowing, that sense of knowing something without even knowing why or how you know it, is your soul. That's your soul knowledge, your inner knowledge. And this is the part that doesn't need evidence. You don't need to really understand how or why something works. You just know that it is true with every part of your being. And that, when you operate from that part of you, you attract them without effort. It becomes so easy. Everything just happens like clockwork. You don't need to think about things. You don't stress. You don't worry. And you can't mess it up. There's nothing you can do wrong when you're living from that layer, from that point of view. And by the way, comment if you've had that moment before. And it might have just been one moment. It might have been several. So if you felt that wave of oneness, right, that layer of reality, even just briefly, put "I felt it" in the comments so that other people know they are not alone. Because this experience is much more common than you think. This experience of knowing something without knowing why you know it, or without knowing how you know it. You just know that it is true. So let's go back to the big question. What happens right before reunion? What happens just before you reunite with your twin flame? You stop chasing, you stop needing, you stop doing these spiritual kind of habits and rituals to try and get them, right? And you stop obsessing. You might even forget about your twin flame completely, even for days or even weeks before you reunite. And then something happens. You feel freedom, you feel quiet and calm, peace and joy. And then just out of nowhere, they appear. They call you, they message you, they show up. Because now your frequency is a match to the true connection, who they are, your soul. You're now actually aligned with your true self, which is that you're not chasing, you're not, coming from this energy of lack. But look, here's the hard part. And this is really where people go wrong so often. When they do come back, when you actually reunite, you have to stop going back into your ego. You have to resist the urge to go back into your mind. And this means no planning. Don't have any fear. Don't be scared. Don't think about what should I say to them to keep them around, or how do I hold this energy? Because this is all based on essentially a mask. You're almost pretending. You're trying to think about, okay, what can I do that is different to my true self to keep this person? You don't need to do that. And if you do that stuff, if you do try and pretend and put on this mask, you will just push them away. You don't need to pretend. You are already them. They are already you. So it's not a technique. There's no, that's the thing with this stuff. It's not a technique or a secret. It's more just like a truth that you need to remember. You're not your mind, and you're not your body. You're actually the awareness behind the body and the mind. The same awareness that is inside your twin flame. There's no difference here. There's no separateness. Now, this is actually ancient knowledge. This is the core, is linked to or based on the core teachings of Zen, Taoism, even early Christianity and all of the non-dual teachings. This is the same kind of thing, but just with a different description. So look, you're not trying to achieve this union. You're not trying to, attract or find or get them. You're just returning to the truth. You're just coming back to what you always were. You're not creating it. You're just remembering it. And it's a lot easier said than done, but it's also really simple. It's simple, but it's not easy. So look, if you're ready to actually do that, if you're ready to stop living in the illusion of separation and actually reunite with your twin flame and stay with them, then click the link in the description. Okay, it takes you to a free video that shows you exactly how to shift into unity consciousness now. And this works now. It's not going to be next year. It's not going to be later. It's going to happen now. It's completely free, and it shows you the real path. So look, if you're done with the running and chasing, if you're finished with feeling stuck, and if you're ready to end the separation for good, click the link. And I hope you enjoyed this video.